What's up, peeps? This is Todd, and welcome back to my show. I found this article today, and I'm not videotaping myself because I am straight up looking like a COVID mess with my beard and my unkept hair. But I wanted to bring your attention to an article that I think is super problematic with the way it's written. And I'm not gonna throw the author under the bus or anything like that, but just hear me out on this. So here's the title right here. This new threat to the U.S. economy flies in the face of conventional wisdom. And if you go down here from an excerpt of it, it says Americans are slashing their spending, hoarding cash, and shrinking their credit card debt as they fear their jobs could disappear during the coronavirus pandemic. So let me first go to this quote. Slashing their spending, hoarding cash, these sound like negative words for things that are actually good for an individual. And by the way, the wealthy have been doing this for years. I hold on to cash and I invest and I don't spend very much. But like if someone's losing weight, no one says they're slashing weight. They say it in a positive way, like yeah, they're getting healthier, they're losing weight, they're gaining muscle. Hoarding cash is another one. Hoarding has such a bad connotation. Why don't they just say they're saving money? They're building a nest egg. They're doing what responsible people do. No, they're hoarding cash. But basically, the the whole context of this article is that they think the economy will be in trouble because people aren't spending their money. They're holding on to it, which a case could be made. Like, yeah, if people aren't spending, the economy isn't stimulated. But let me just read this to you a little bit, and I won't do the whole thing. But it said this is the lead in a CNN business story this week about how U.S. consumers have been navigating one of the greatest financial curveballs the world has ever seen. Makes sense considering the climate. Drilling into the numbers shows credit card debt dropped by its biggest percentage in more than 3 decades, while savings jumps to levels not seen since the Reagan era. In my opinion, this should be celebrated. If people are paying down on their credit cards, they're no longer paying 30% interest on huge balances. This is a great thing. So it goes down and it says, although caution is a logical response to that uncertainty, hunkering down also poses a risk to the recovery in an economy dominated by consumer spending. So, yes, the U.S. economy, in particular, is definitely um, driven by spending. And it's ironic that I'm talking about this because, as you can see, the targeted ads for me are all Lambos, and it's because I'm sad that my Tesla Roadster isn't coming out in 2020, so I've been looking at Lambos. So I get it. It's ironic that I'm looking at this, but put it this way: the wealthy have been saving money and investing and holding on to cash since the beginning of time, and now that other people are doing it too, they're given a lot of grief for it, and I think it's wrong. So, yeah, here we go. This quote right here says the dissolved middle class holding on to a couple $1,000 left to their name is hoarding cash, in quotes. The hypocrisy is disgusting, and I agree with that. Here we go right here. I love how the blame immediately goes to the average American instead of, oh, I don't know, the 1% and these mega millionaires buying back their own stocks right now, he said. People are just trying to survive and feel themselves out right now, and we're supposed to care about the big picture. Now, I am a big picture guy, so I understand that what's good for the individual isn't necessarily always what's good for the whole. Like, you see that all the time when people are, like, smoking in their cars, and then they flick a cigarette out the window. It's good for them in the moment to get the cigarette out of their car. It's bad for the environment and the world as a whole to flick the cigarette out. So I understand that. I'm a big picture guy. But I get it. These people who are, I guess, supposed to be spending, and I know you can't see me right now, but I'm saying the word supposed to with quotation marks. They're not, because they're scared and they're holding on to money, they're saving it. It's just quite interesting that there's such a bad connotation with saving money. And yes, the economy needs to be stimulated, but it shouldn't be at the expense of people, going having no money or going negative or putting everything on credit cards. I mean, I don't think, if you have lost your job during this pandemic, and let's say for whatever reason you're not collecting unemployment, or your unemployment's going to run out, or whatever, or maybe let's even if you are collecting unemployment, you should use that unemployment money for, shelter, water, food, and utilities. In my opinion, you probably shouldn't go out and buy a new motorcycle, or, buy a bunch of stupid stuff you don't need. And it's not your responsibility to try to save the world by going into debt on your credit card and paying 30% interest so you can buy some widget at a widget factory and stimulate the economy. That's not your responsibility. This is where governments step in. So I don't know, man. I saw this article on Market Watch today, and I found it problematic that they're almost mad at people for saving money. And actually, there was an excerpt that I found down here. Pardon my scrolling, if I can find it. Let's see. Here we go, right here. Frankly, I was surprised the Treasury did not issue debit cards instead of stimulus checks to ensure the stimulus money was spent. I guess the thinking was cash gives folks flexibility. So this is interesting. I mean, this person is saying, like, oh, the stimulus money, I'm surprised that it wasn't debit cards, so you would really have no choice but to spend it. You couldn't just put it in the bank and save onto it. And there's actually talks that if there is a second round of stimulus checks, it will be coming in the form of a preloaded debit card. So you have to spend it. So it's super interesting right now. But, I mean, make no mistake about it. People like me, people that became millionaires in their 20s, we're all saving money. And that's what we've done since the beginning of time, is we're saving money, we're investing, we're buying assets that produce more income. We're not out buying the latest gadget from the latest gadget factory, and putting it on credit cards and going into debt. And I do have credit cards, but I do not carry a balance. I take advantage of the credit card points and the cash back, but I don't carry a balance. I never pay any interest, and I'm not out spending money on stuff that I wouldn't otherwise spend on, except for, of course, when I look at supercars. But rest assured, I will not be getting a supercar until I'm 30. And it will hopefully, I hope to God it will be a Tesla Roadster. I hope it's out by then. That's a topic for another video. But anyway, yeah, anyone, if you're one of those people that, if you have a stimulus check of $1,200 and you have it in the bank and you feel bad for not spending it, don't feel bad. Pay your mortgage, pay your rent, put food on the table, get your utilities, all of that stuff. Take care of the four walls, is what Dave Ramsey likes to say. But don't feel like you need to go out of your way to spend money on stupid shit just in the name of stimulating the economy. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.